What's up, everybody? Welcome back to those of you returning, and welcome to those of you that are here for the first time. So today we'll be reading Matthew chapter 20. I'm reading from the NLT, the New Living Translation. I'll also be referring back to the Geneva Bible, the 1560 edition. If you're wondering why I'm doing that, check out the video between chapter 17 and 18. I give a pretty big explanation on there to why I chose to start doing this. Anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and dive in. Matthew chapter 20. For the kingdom of heaven is like the owner of an estate who went out early one morning to hire workers for his vineyard. He agreed to pay the normal daily wage and sent them out to work. At 9 o'clock in the morning, he was passing through the marketplace and saw some people standing around doing nothing. So he hired them, telling them he would pay them whatever was right at the end of the day. At noon, again, around 3 o'clock, he did the same thing. At 5 o'clock that evening, he went to town again and saw some more people standing around. He asked them, "Why haven't you been working today?" They replied, "Because no one hired us." The owner of the estate told them, "Then go on out and join the others in my vineyard." That evening he told the foreman to call the workers in and pay them, beginning with the last worker first. When those hired at 5 o'clock were paid, each received a full day's wage. When those hired earlier came to get their pay, they assumed they would receive more, but they too were paid the day's wage. When they received their pay, they protested. "Those people worked only 1 hour, and yet you've paid them just as much as you've paid us, who worked all day in the scorching heat." He answered one of them, "Friend, I haven't been unfair. Didn't you agree to work all day for the usual wage? Take it and go. I wanted to pay this last worker the same as you. Is it against the law for me to do what I want with my money? Should you be angry because I am kind? And so it is that many who are first now will be last then, and those who are last now will be first then." So that is verse 16. That's one of the verses that I marked down that I saw discrepancy or just a little bit of a difference. So I'm going to go ahead and read those out again. So verse 16. "And so it is that many who are first now will be last then, and those who are last now will be first then." Let's refer to the Geneva Bible. Verse 16. "So last shall first, and first last. For many are called, but few chosen." So I'm not exactly sure why they decide to take that portion out. For many are called, but few are chosen, right? So obviously here, Jesus is illustrating that, my opinion, again, as always, he's illustrating that regardless of when you accept Jesus into your life, your reward is going to be the same, right? Which is to be in heaven, to be in the presence of our God for eternity. So it's irrelevant whether you accept Christ early in your life and you start doing the works for God, and you do it for the entirety of your life, however many years that might be, or you could be on your last couple of years, last couple of days, or even last couple of minutes of your life when you accept Jesus, right? The reward is still going to be the same. We haven't read it yet, but there's going to be an individual who's going to be crucified with Jesus, right, on his next to him. And on the cross, the man is going to ask him, "Lord, please allow me to be in the kingdom of heaven with you," right? And Jesus said, "I assure you that you will be in heaven with me tonight." So that man, he didn't get baptized. He didn't do any works. He's obviously getting crucified because he committed some sort of a crime, right? So he didn't live a perfect life. He was a sinner through and through, but because he accepted God into his heart, he acknowledged that Jesus is Lord, that he is God, right? Jesus promised him that he will be in heaven with him that day. So one thing that I would like to make sure that I point out here, you read this or you hear this and you might think, "Oh, I'm only in my 20s right now, like I'm good to keep on doing whatever I want, and then sometime later when I'm older, before I die hopefully, I'll just accept God and we'll be good to go." The issue with that is you don't know when your last day is, right? Right now you might be in your 20s, you might be even in your teens, and you think that you're healthy and young, and some accident or whatever happens and it might be your last day, right? So don't wait. Once you hear the message, accept it, accept Jesus into your heart, and begin your work. And God will bless you for many years, maybe not, right? It's all part of his plan, but do not wait. If you have the opportunity, if you truly accept Jesus into your heart, start the works for him. Start doing things to glorify God. Do not wait. Right? Anyways, let's continue. Jesus again predicts his death. As Jesus was on the way to Jerusalem, he took the 12 disciples aside privately and told them what was going to happen to him. When we go to Jerusalem, he said, the Son of Man will be betrayed to the leading priests and the teachers of religious law. They will sentence him to die. Then he will hand him over to the Romans to be mocked. Then they will hand him over to the Romans to be mocked, whipped, and crucified. But on the third day he will be raised from the dead. Jesus teaches about serving others. So there's a couple of discrepancies here that I'm also going to point out. Then the mother of James and John, the sons of Zebedee, came to Jesus with her sons. She knelt respectfully to ask a favor. What is your request? He asked. So let's pause there, right? Here it says, as you can see, it says she knelt respectfully. Let's go ahead and look what this version says. Then came to him the mother of Zebedee's children with her sons, worshiping him, and desired a certain thing of him. Right? So here it just says that she knelt respectfully, but here it is saying that she was worshiping him. Right? Again, not exactly sure for the reasoning of these translators to make that type of a change, but it happened. And then here's another one that's going to be coming up here shortly. What is your request? He asked. She replied, in your kingdom will you let my 2 sons sit in place of honor next to you, one at your right and one at the other, and the other on your left? But Jesus told them, you don't know what you're asking. Are you able to drink from the bitter cup of sorrow I am about to drink? Right? Pretty much predicting, like, I'm about to go through some really hard stuff. Like, are you guys able to do the same? Okay, so here it says, drink from the bitter cup. But on here it says, I shall drink and to be baptized. Hold on, let me start over from the beginning of verse 22. And Jesus answered and said, ye know not what ye ask. Are ye able to drink of the cup that I shall drink of, and to be baptized with the baptism that I shall be baptized with? Right? So here, here's just mentioning in the NLT translation that he'll be drinking from the cup of sorrow, right? Here it is mentioned drinking of and also be baptized the way that Jesus is getting baptized. I have no idea really how to explain that any further other than here's the difference between the two that I found. Let's continue. Oh yes, they replied, we're able. You will indeed drink from it, he told them. But I have no right to say who will sit on the thrones next to mine. My Father has prepared those places for the ones he has chosen. Right, so here he is saying, like, you know, you're saying this right now, but you guys don't understand. But promise me, or trust me, you will be pretty much meeting the same or a similar gruesome end that I will, which we'll learn about all of these guys, pretty much all of them exception for one, were killed very brutally for their faith in Jesus, right? For the faith that Jesus got resurrected. All right, let's continue. When the 10 other disciples heard what James and John had asked, they were indignant. But Jesus called them together and said, you know that in this world kings are tyrants. An official lord is over the people beneath them. But among you it should be quite different. Whoever wants to be a leader among you must be your servant, and whoever wants to be first must become your slave. For even I, the Son of Man, came here not to be served, but to serve others, and to give my life as a ransom for many. Right? So, I mean, that's it for... Never mind, it's not. Oh my goodness. Let's continue. But pretty much Jesus is saying, right, you have to be able to serve others. Right? Don't try to achieve to be first and to be the leader of anything. If you want to be the leader, you have to be a servant first. Jesus heals 2 blind men. As Jesus and the disciples left the city of Jericho, a huge crowd followed behind. 2 blind men were sitting beside the road. When they heard that Jesus was coming that way, they began shouting, Lord, Son of David, have mercy on us. The crowd told them to be quiet, but they only shouted louder, "Lord, Son of David, have mercy on us." Jesus stopped in the road and called, "What do you want me to do for you?" "Lord," they said, "we want to see." Jesus felt sorry for them and touched their eyes. Instantly, they could see. Then they followed him. Anyways, guys, as always, a great chapter. I love you. I hope God blesses you and your families, and I hope to see you in chapter 21. Take care.